Good morning. It is Facebook Friday again, and I'm going to start off the new year by calling it Facebook Friday. I'm having a hard time talking about Stitch Along Friday. I don't know why. In any case, we do Stitch Along on Facebook, so that should work. And if I make a mistake, so be it. So I hope that you are all set for a wonderful New Year's Eve. Today is Friday, and it feels like today is Saturday and tomorrow is New Year's Day, but that's just in my mind, I'm sure. We're having a lot of snow here this this December 31st. We've had about 4 or 5 days, I think, of snow and icy weather, which we're not used to at all. But what we end up having is a huge snowfall. For us, this is huge. So everything's at a standstill, including Lisa, who is at home. Luckily, she made it home from Port Alberni before the big snowfall. So hello, Lisa. Good to see you. And I hope that your sister gets her car back soon. We're expecting rain tomorrow, so I'm pretty sure all the snow will be gone very soon. Katrina Middleton, good morning. Judy Noble, Kathy Joan Nelson, Loretta O'Neill, Marley, Helena Coco, hola. Good afternoon from rainy but warm Brazil. That's great. And it looks like Amber is here. Happy New Year, sleet and ice. Yes. See, this is the thing. Most of the rest of North America is very used to the amount of snow and sleet and ice that is normal for most of North America. But we here on the West Coast are kind of protected, and we end up having what's called the Pineapple Express, which is warm air coming across Hawaii, that sort of direction. And so we end up not having so much sleet and ice. When we get it, we're panicking. There's snow right outside my window here, which is really unusual, so it's quite bright. Today, though, is sunshine, which I am thrilled about, I have to say. I do miss Lisa. I love having Lisa sitting here beside me, and we can chit-chat away about our various different ways of looking at the world. And from my position, I haven't talked to too many people over the last 5 to 7 days. So it's kind of like I'm not used to chatting at all. I expect, Lisa, when you're back, I'll get my mojo back again. Looks like Amber's here, Deanne Pierce, Cataldi. Very nice to see you. I'd love to have 82 degrees right now. One of my cousins is in is in Florida, but very North Florida, right on the coast. And I thought, oh, that looks so nice this time of year. But we do have lots of sunshine, just no warmth. It is 0 degrees here. In other words, right at freezing. And we're expecting it to warm up quite a bit over the next couple of days. But meanwhile, we are really experiencing some nice cold weather. Patty England, hello. Finally snowing there. Good for you. We did have a little dusting of snow for Christmas Day, which was so sweet. And we all loved that. And then it went away, which was great. Diane Mertersdorf, good morning from Minnesota. Sounds really cold. Linda Bazarski, hello, happy New Year to you. Norma, hello, happy 2022. Very good point. Donna Granger, happy New Year to you too, down there in California. I bet you it's not too icy there for you, or did you get the same cold snap we did? Because it came down from Alaska. You guys. Lynn Burton says, Happy New Year from everyone from Norfolk in UK. Very mild, 15 degrees centigrade. Oh, that would be really nice. We're at literally 0 centigrade and expect to only go up to about 5 at the most over the next few weeks. So I definitely envy you, your 15 degrees. Fiona, hello, good evening from Haddington, Scotland. Again, it looks like Lynn and Fiona are having a similar kind of weather pattern. Lisa, miss you too. Kathy Jones says, you and Lisa compliment each other. I think we do. It's hard for us because when you talk about us complimenting one another, neither one of us can kind of see that because we're, part of the group. So if someone else says that, it really makes us feel good because I have a way of talking. It's kind of like the Smothers Brothers or Chip and Dale or something like that. She'll say stuff that I don't think of, and I'll say stuff she doesn't. So you're absolutely right. And it is very nice to have someone else to chit chat. Even, the talk show hosts have I think they call them sidekicks, but basically they work off each other so that it's not all one person talking the whole time. Vicki Fisher says, Happy New Year. Thank you. And Loretta's there as well. Looks like I'm not quite caught up yet, but I will. Pat Henke, hello. Jennifer Chung, good morning. Dorothy Wendell, good morning. Waiting for a big snowstorm here. Oh, that does sound really cold. I haven't talked to anyone since Boxing Day, says Lisa. Actually, we do have our partners, and I do talk to, Richard, and you talk to Bob, but it's not the same as actually having something to say because, you pass the salt. It's just not quite the same thing. Richard and I do get into these chit-chats. We can talk for several hours at a time, usually a little philosophically or about our relationship or about what we're going to do that day, of course, but it's not the same. And talking to my stitching people here is totally different than talking to my partner. Patty England says it'll help the fires here. Oh, you have fires. How awful for you. Well, I really heard about them too, and I just think that's, why one more thing. I really feel for you. Donna says it's 43 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, that's fairly cool, Donna. It sounds like you didn't get quite the same weather we did, though. Sherry Linzer here. Maria de las Nieves Iglesias. And thank you so much for your good wishes. Happy New Year to you. Carol Reed, hello. Lorraine, you're here as well. Happy New Year. Well, I don't know about you, but for stitchers, we have kept up our spirits pretty darn well over the last 2 years. I think it's just about time for us to say this is the 2-year period for the pandemic. And, I never thought I'd hear the word pandemic being spoken of as it's going on. But it is, and I was reminded the other day of someone who said this is kind of like the anniversary of the beginning of the 2018 to 20. That's a 2-year period as well, where the flu, just ravaged its way all around the globe. So I'm assuming that we're going to have 2 years and then that's it. If for nothing else, then just to be grateful for the fact that we're still here, we're still smiling, and we're taking care of one another. And I hope you guys are too. Nothing lasts forever, that's for sure. Not even a pandemic. Hello, Agnes. Good to see you. Happy New Year. And it looks like Simberly, but it could be Kimberly. Hello. Happy New Year. Jean Morrison. Thank you. Tammy, howdy doody from cloudy Scenery Hill. Sandy Werbitsky. Hello. Nice to see you. And Marlene Walters here in southern Minnesota. Minnesota is very cold, I think. Oh, thank you, Kimberly. It's Kimberly. Okay. Jean Krenicki is here. Sorry. Hello. Happy New Year. We have a whole bunch of people here today, which is very, very exciting. I didn't expect so many people, but I bet you everyone here thought that Lisa was going to be here too, right? Unfortunately, Lisa was unable to come because she is definitely snowed into her lovely little house. She's about 20 minutes away from here, but she's got a street that she lives on is actually bounded on both sides by very tall trees. And they don't plow it. I have no idea why, or at least if they plow it, it doesn't work because it's very icy and slippery out there. So she decided to wait for the rain and come to work on Monday, which will be very good. We're not going to be open on Monday because Lisa needs a little bit more time to get ready with all of the business that we still have going on, even though we are semi-retired. We still have a lot of people emailing, etc. I have done some replies to people who have emailed, but overall, I would say that Lisa has a few things to do before she starts saying that she's available to contact. I'm just going to miss you soon. So I think you guys are talking together. This is good. Sandra Bassard is here. Tammy Thompson says, poor Lisa. Exactly. She wanted to come in today, but she just couldn't make it. Hello, Holly. You are new. I thought I didn't recognize your name. And you know, we've had enormous amounts of new people coming into the Victoria Sampler chat group. And I believe it is Stitch in Mummy or Mammy or Mommy. She has done such a nice thing for us to invite you all. Those of you who actually are her crowd have come over here because she's working on, I think it's the Nativity Sampler. I just happened to glance at it. That's on my wall. So some of you are actually doing this sampler now, which is lovely. The Heirloom Nativity Sampler is one that I also really enjoy because I was raised Catholic. So the Nativity is what Christmas is all about, right? But it does take a little bit of time. And those of you who are not really sure about your specialty stitches, you might want to go to our YouTube channel. And there you will find a shortened version of all of the specialty stitches that we have taught with a video so far. So you might want to go and check out the stitches. And it looks like, let's see who else is here. Patricia Stewart Fales is here. Good morning. And Dorothy says, is today the last day to download the 2021 Stitch Along pattern? Yes. Thank you for making that very, very clear. It is so important. Those of you who have not downloaded or printed out the Stitch Along pattern for 2021, please do so now because it will disappear tonight. Now that is Pacific Standard Time. Okay, it is 9:30 right now. So I think there's quite a few more hours. Those of you who live in Australia or Scotland or any other place in the world, keep in mind that our time zones are different and we are in Pacific Standard Time. So tonight at midnight Pacific Standard Time, you will not see any of the links anymore. I will remove the post that guides you to those links and remove all of the patterns from our files in our Facebook group. So please, please, please take the time to download and print them now. Let's see what else. Thank you so much for mentioning that, Dorothy. That was really nice of you. Lynn says, Happy New Year. Hello, Lynn. Good to see you again. And Brenda Lichlier, keep Colorado in your thoughts. Of course we will. Of course, I'm not sure exactly why, but if there's some trouble brewing in Colorado, my thoughts are with you. Tanya Kelly says, oh, wait a minute. Let's see where Tanya, oh, there you are. Will be very cold tomorrow. Christmas Cardinal bell pull. You got it. I'm so glad. I think that's one that had the little red bell pull thing on the top, right? It's small, but really pretty. And it fits really nicely between two cupboard doors or something like that around Christmas time. Hope you like it. Thank you. Norma Farrow says, I was actually able to find the Nativity Sampler with an ACK pack on Etsy. So excited. Good for you. Those of you who are new and all my old friends here, remember that we have discontinued all the accessory packs. And it's a bit confusing when you first come to our website nowadays because we've had accessory packs for 25 years or 24 and a half years. And so all of the writing and everything in the description for each design says, here's your accessory pack. Well, actually, it's now called a materials list because we do not have, I think there might be 2 accessory packs left. We don't have any accessory packs for almost all of our patterns anymore. So if you can score one by going on either Etsy or going to maybe Google the design and see if it's available in any shops stock, you might be able to still find them in the shops online. There's a lot of accessory packs still out there floating around. So check here if you like. I think it's really important that you remember, though, that the accessory pack don't make your pattern. You do. So as soon as January starts, I will be giving some lessons and some ideas as to how you can also do the patterns even without the accessory packs. Years and years ago, before I had done any accessory packs, all I did was add some materials in to a little bag, which were materials that were difficult to find and very difficult for shops to stock. So that's how the accessory packs got started. And soon enough, the shops were thrilled because they didn't have to gather all the individual skeins and, boxes of beads, etc. And all of our stitchers were thrilled, even though they sometimes said it was very, very expensive. We've heard that for a long time. But what was happening with the accessory packs was we put all of this together. We have a huge database that has thousands of materials in it. And that database we had to maintain. We had to figure out how to make a program that would pull certain items from our raw materials and put them into a kit and make sure that those items would be reordered when needed. Oh, it's like a huge deal. You have no idea. With as many patterns as we ended up having, we kept adding, of course, and more materials would be added. So the fact is that I am of an age now, after 24 and a half years, that I don't want to take on that project anymore. I think that we had great success with accessory packs over the years, but now, since we're not doing those anymore, it's up to me and Lisa to teach people how to substitute, how to figure out which threads to use. And don't forget, you can still get many skeins, many different threads and materials from our local needle workshops. And I would recommend several. But on the other hand, I have to double check with them to make sure. One really good one, though, is Needle in a Haystack in California. And we have noted that 1, 2, 3 Stitch, both of those are online, are very good. And there are other needle workshops, but those are the two that I'm fairly aware of carrying the kinds of threads and materials that I use in my patterns. Okay? So here we go. Loretta says she downloaded the Stitch Along files earlier this week. Excellent. Hello, Suzanne Healy. Very good. Kimberly is in Taiwan, it sounds like. Wow, that's super. If you're in Taiwan, then remember to make sure that you have about another 12 hours or more before you cannot get the patterns anymore. Donna says, buildings in the Bay Area are not built for cold weather. Isn't that the truth? The old ones, like our house, had little or no insulation, no central heating, no air conditioning. I got that. Well, we also have no central heating, no air conditioning, and we do have a lot of insulation, which is hard in the summertime, but really nice now. But the windows still let in so much because our windows are also older. So I get what you mean, Donna. It is kind of frightening when you realize how much heat we let off in the air and how much we've been drawing on the electrical supply. Tanya says, all my Stitch Along instructions are printed. Hope to start on in 2021. Oh, sorry, 2022. Thank you. I'm so glad you like it, Patty. That's wonderful. Lynn says there are terrible wildfires in Colorado. Thank you. I wasn't aware. I thought there were a bunch in Australia, and I wasn't aware of the ones in Colorado. I'm so sorry. And I hope that things die down very soon. Fires in Colorado. Yes, got you. B says, Happy New Year, Thea, Lisa, and staff. Wishing you all the blessings that 2022 has to offer. Thank you so much, and same to you and all of you. Lorraine says, like many homes here, we do have air conditioning, but it struggles in this heat. Yeah, exactly. I know you have 44 to 45 degree weather, and while we're bitterly cold, you are, really hot. Why can't we get a nice, happy medium, right? All over the world. That would be so good. Aurelia Bonelli, Happy New Year from Italy. And Sue Lynn, Happy New Year. Thank you. Thank you very much. Patty says it was cheaper than buying all of the materials separate, and I think you're talking about the accessory packs. Yeah, it really was actually cheaper. But when people realized how many things had to be in the accessory packs, they started to really love them because you didn't have to buy whole skeins. You could just get exactly what you needed. Unfortunately, we just simply can't keep it up anymore. And the there are tricks and tips that I can give you as to how to substitute and how to choose the kinds of threads that will make everything work better. Someone emailed me not too long ago and said, well, it says that DMC, and then there were 3 different numbers, is a substitute for Gloriana. Well, how do you put 3 different colors in where there's only 1 stitch? And she didn't realize that the Gloriana was an overdye, for instance. And those overdyes, the overdyed silks, are extremely beautiful. But the dyer has made a thread that goes 2 or 3 stitches one color, 2 or 3 stitches another color, etc. So they're divided off into approximately 5 to 6 inch pieces of, colors. So that one thread will have many different colors in it. Now, you can say, well, you could use your DMC and do a couple of stitches in one color, another stitches in another color, etc., which would be what I would do. But on the other hand, that can get very frustrating. So choose one of the colors that makes the most sense, and that way you will have no trouble trying to decide how many stitches you want to do with 1 or 2 or 3 of those colors. But there is no substitute for the overdye. There just isn't, which is why we've had to do accessory packs in the beginning. But what we can do, and I think this is also important, is those Gloriana overdye, or any overdye for that matter, the Karen collection, the Gloriana collection, and there's several other overdyes. It's very important that you try to get a hold of the originals, because that's going to make your piece so much nicer. If you get a hold of a couple of skeins that are the overdyes in any pattern, then the DMCs will fill in themselves if you're using DMC or any other silk thread. I think that choosing your own colors is something that you've done during 2021, and hopefully you'll continue on in 2022 along with me, because choosing your own colors it's like deciding that you're going to have someone else paint the painting. Well, you have to mix the paint and decide where you're going to put the color. And the same thing goes with embroidery. Don't have to do exactly what the designer has decided. You will be successful choosing your own colors if you start to learn how to choose them. And that's coming up in 2022. I'm excited. Carol Reed says, I started the beach cottage. I wanted a break from all my Christmas stitching. Exactly. Oh, I wanted to also let you know that I don't think we ever actually showed this during Christmas, which we could have, or even pre-Christmas, but this is my attempt at making a New Year's sampler. And I show this pretty much every year. The New Year's sampler has fireworks in the sky above the water, because that's safer. And then, of course, there's the people in, here, let's see, there we go. So you can see the people singing, and this is the band, I think, with the 2 ladies. And then, of course, there's specialty stitches right there. There's Father Time and the Baby New Year, and some lovely specialty stitches. And there they all dancing in the ballroom at midnight, hopefully kissing afterwards. And I did a New York kind of skyline for people who live in the city, and you can kind of see this is meant to be the ball dropping. And then at the bottom there is, of course, our little bit of heart hanger. So this piece, this Happy New Year piece, is wonderful to substitute for, I think it's called Christmas Day, because it's the same size. And what I've done is I've made samplers this size, exactly this size, for some of the major holidays and even for a birthday celebration. So you could, if you had them all framed relatively similarly so they wouldn't take up this, too much more room than the other, during Christmas time you could put up Christmas Day. New Year's, you put up New Year's Day. What are some of the other ones? We have a Easter egg hunt. I should do a Valentine though. Anyway, an Easter egg hunt, and we have trick or treat, I think. And we have, I'm looking over there because I think they're over there as well. So there are a number. I can't quite remember exactly. I didn't do a July design, even though North America kind of celebrates national days during July, because I'm Canadian and I wouldn't know how to make something Canadian and American and European and Australian, all in one pattern. Although I guess doing picnics, etc., might be a good way to, because most people, when they're having their national holiday, do some picnicking and parades and things like that. So I'll think about that as well. But then you can hang up the next holiday just before or during the next holiday. So it's a kind of a nice thing to have. Lisa, thank you for a Valentine sampler. And I do too. I kind of like the idea. It is almost Valentine's Day is what I was going to say. But first, I have another model I wanted to show you. There is a celebration in New Orleans, which I hope will be able to happen this year. But if not, you can at least stitch this. If you've ever been to New Orleans during Mardi Gras, I think that's called Mardi Gras. I hope so. During their February celebrations, this was what I was teaching one time when I was in New Orleans teaching along with Cindy Valentine. This pattern is so fun to do. You can see, oh, when the saints come marching in. And of course, we're all girls, so I made the girls the musicians with their little trumpets and trombones and drums. And then there's some black and white here. That was for the all the black wrought iron balconies that are on some of the buildings. You can kind of see some of them here. And of course the fleur-de-lis in a vine shape. This is so fun. Lots of great colors, and you can substitute your own colors as well. And that one is called, I can't remember. Oh yes, thank you, Lisa. You did that on purpose, didn't you? It's called the Jazz Sampler, exactly. And this one is called the Happy New Year Sampler. So if you're looking on our website, those are the two names you want to search for. Did you, Tanya just said she had so much fun on the Jazz Sampler. Exactly, so did I. Thank you, Deanne. It is Mardi Gras. It is amazing. Oh, Suzanne Shapiro says we evacuated from Colorado, Superior, Colorado yesterday, and our home was spared. Oh, that must be such a relief. I cannot imagine. We have a lot of forest fires here in British Columbia. As those of you who know and watch the news, you understand that we also have these devastating things, but we've never had them in the winter. So this, I don't know how this happened to Colorado, but my heart goes out to all of you who have had to evacuate and or have had such devastating losses that I've seen in BC. Well, she has to get, says Kathy Joan. You have to take your pup back. Okay, well, it's nice to have had you here with us. And, oh, good, Kathy Joan. Thanks for the information. Well, the main thing is that even if you don't go to New Orleans, even if you've never been there, you can have your own celebration sampler called Jazz Sampler, right? It is now 10 o'clock, and I really am excited the fact that so many of you are here. Usually we have around 40 people, but I guess because it's between Christmas and New Year's, we have a number more people here today, people who maybe were able to stay home from work. There's been a lot of people that I've heard of anyway who have taken off between Christmas and New Year's, partly because it's a nice time to have a holiday and workers, we all deserve holidays, but also I think there's some closures around the new variant. So I hope that everyone can get back to normal, at least to some kind of normal, new normal, whatever it's called, so that you can have some time back at work, because that's also something that those of you who work outside the home must be very challenging to try and work with, you know, children going to school and all of the things that are involved in today's society. It looks like there's a whole bunch of stuff going on here. Sitting my, oh, Elizabeth, waiting for your COVID results. Oh, that is so good that you get a test. I have to say that here in BC, our rapid tests, any kind of tests, we can hardly get them, and we certainly can't get them when we want one. We have to wait and tell people that we have terrible symptoms, and then we might be able to go and get permission, because apparently they're just thinking, our health system here thinks that we don't need them until we're really sick. just anyway, there's a whole bunch coming because there's such an outcry here. Everybody wants a test. I have to say I'm grateful that I don't go out much these days, and I'm hoping for the majority of the people to get sick, who get sick, be done. But I also know that this one is definitely not as virulent and doesn't result in nearly the same amount of illness as some of the others, unless you're unvaccinated. So hopefully everyone I'm talking to here is vaccinated. Luckily, I was able to get a booster just before Christmas, and that was just such a relief because that's supposed to help a great deal. My lady, Happy New Year. Elizabeth, when you're sitting in your car waiting for the results, and if we're still on, could you let us know? Otherwise, send me an email. I'll be really hoping that you don't have it. Dorothy Wendell says she gets smoke in Iowa from the Canadian wildfires during the summer. Exactly. And good morning from Texas to Diane Zamudio. Very well. I think that there are so many new people here today. And honestly, maybe me, but we're very used to a number of people that come, either come and stay and watch us, or actually don't come one week, but they come the next. So they're very familiar names to me. I'm seeing so many new people. So welcome, welcome, welcome to all of you. Daisy Ringenberg, she goes back on the 6th, exactly. I think that Barbara Lutomyrska is here wishing us a Happy New Year. And Happy New Year from Anita Verheyen. And by the way, I am Dutch originally. I was born in Amsterdam, Holland. And so I do still understand some Dutch, and I can say some of it. I've tried to keep it up. I was 8 when I came here, though, so even though I stumble over my English words more than most native speakers, I'm really much more fluent in English than I am in Dutch. We'll call it Dinglish. Very silly. Mary Widritz, hello from Iowa. Don't run. It's okay if you're a little late, hopefully. Anyway, if you're late and you feel you're late here, Mary, don't worry. Nothing much has been happening. I've basically been chit-chatting here because I am so thrilled to be able to be in contact with so many of you Stitchers. Elizabeth doesn't want to get anyone else sick. I think that's very, very wise. Good. Maria Eugenia Abreu, Happy New Year from Brazil. Thank you. Oh, you are so welcome. You know, there have been so many nice messages that came in through the office email and even through my personal email over the Christmas holidays, thanking me particularly for designing the Year in Stitches for 2021 for our stitch-alongs here. I can't tell you how much fun I've had because every month I had to come up with a new pattern, and that pattern had to be broken into 3 or 4 bits. And then I would release one every Friday or so that people didn't have an idea what was coming next, but that each of the patterns would come kind of clear as you went through them. And of course, you only do a little bit of the pattern per week. So if you start in January and do 2021 in 2022, that's perfectly wonderful. And don't forget to share your progress with us if you haven't even started. We'll be very happy to say how wonderful everything is. Although we do have another stitch along coming along in 2022. Next week, actually, should be the first installment of our mystery stitch along for 2022. Loretta says there's 61 people here. Are you kidding? Oh, welcome everyone. That is so exciting. I think it may be that because this is our New Year's celebration here, and we actually here, Lisa and I usually are sitting here chit-chatting about our newest things, and we talk about obviously the Victoria Sampler things, and we have models to show. This year I didn't have too many models to show, this Friday I don't have too many models to show, mainly because I was going to make it relatively short today. I was just going to come and say, Happy New Year to everyone. So thank you for all of you who come. And next week we should have some content for you as well as just me chit-chatting. Anissa should be back by then too. Margaret Biggs is here. Rachel Bitton, Happy New Year. Lots of new people. That's exactly what I was thinking. It's so cool. My New Year's goal is to complete the entire gingerbread village before next Christmas. Deanne, that is stupendous, but it took me a much longer time. So you are allowed to do 2 buildings a year if you want. Nevertheless, the commitment is excellent, and I know you can do it. It's not like you couldn't do it, but you'd possibly be doing only the buildings for the whole year. So if you don't do all the buildings this year, hopefully you'll be finished the next year. And the buildings themselves, the finishing of the buildings is Lisa's forte, I'd say. And we do have a few videos on our YouTube channel that show finishing of 2 of the buildings, I believe. Well, maybe not buildings, but we have one on the gingerbread tree etui. And I think we have one on the flower shop and on the retreat cottage. So those 3, I think, have finishing videos on the YouTube channel, and that should help anyone who is planning to do some of the buildings in the gingerbread village. Melanie Patton, thank you. Happy New Year to you. Louisa, sorry. It's okay. I don't know what Stovey's dinner is, but it sounds very delicious. And if you're peeling vegetables, you probably are going to have some kind of a stew of some sort, I assume. Susan Mazinko is here from Blackfields, Alberta. Yeah, isn't it lovely that you have your booster? That makes me feel a lot better anyway. Anita Verheyen, it was 1.5 years when I came to Canada, so I understand some, but you're not fluent either. So you've only been here for 1.5 years? Well, in that case, if you ever need any help with English, let us know, because, you know, I can possibly help you translate some things. Dinglish, exactly, Elizabeth, Dinglish. Louisa Sharp says, Happy New Year when the bells ring. Ooh, to the old and in the new year from Urhus to yours. Thank you, Louisa. Patricia Lewis, Happy New Year. Almost, that's true. Marge Lang. I apologize. That was my stupidity. Greetings from Tulsa. Many thanks for the basic hearting, a series of lessons. You are welcome. Don't forget, those of you who are new here, it's what's called the VS Academy. And it's a special place where you can register on our website, register for courses. And when you are registered for courses for the first time, you will first go to a place we call the VS Academy, and you have to actually create your own username and password for the Academy, and then you can go back in there time after time to follow along with the lessons you've decided to take. But until you actually register for one class, you won't get in. Okay, but the classes that are there are now ongoing, and you can register anytime. And so far, I have made it so that they go until March 31st. But the way things are going, I think they'll go longer. But each class definitely will finish before a full year is over. The reason I'm saying March right now is because I'm still not sure if I'm going to continue using that platform. And it's a different kind of platform for those of you who are aware. It's not the same as our website. It is a different platform, technically speaking. So I want to make sure that I want to continue using that platform. And that's the reason why the March deadline right now is firm. And it may move to another 3 months after that if I can help it. Dorothy says she did all self-tests on Christmas. That is so good because you get to. I have to say, I am kind of jealous of people who could just say, I think I'll go down and get tested, because that's not the case here. My goal is a VS sampler for me, says Rachel. I have gifted every single one, and I really want one for me. Oh, Rachel, which one are you going to do? We all want to know now, which is the one that is for you. If it was me, I would think of the heirloom stitching sampler. And one of the reasons is that's what I did for me. So it's a suggestion anyway. Margaret, this is what I plan to do. Start my 2021 in 2022. And I guess I'll be busy with 2022 at the same time. double whammy, double goodness. That is a good idea. And hopefully you'll be able to keep that up. Hello, Sue Donnelly. I was wondering if you were going to show up. I'm so glad you're there and that you are, it sounds like you are alive and well. And hopefully the snow is not too deep for you guys to get out to enjoy it. Diane says, I can't wait to see what wonderful techniques are in store for us next year. Thanks so much for all you do, and I can't wait for the new Stitch Along. Diane, you've encapsulated everything for the new year. We really hope that we're going to be part of your stitching lives. Just a little, you know, we don't need to take it all, but we really enjoy being with so many people who love stitching. So thanks to all of our old friends and our new ones too for joining us here today. Lots off today except me. Okay, Tanya, cool weather is great stitching weather. That is so true. And Lisa, Lisa is here and she says she'll be back next week. Yes, I know you will. You haven't missed too many actually, but I'm actually, like this stream comes from my home, which is, my home is actually above our studios. So I have the studios downstairs and all I have to do to go to work is go downstairs. So when it's snowing out, I still can go to work. Lisa, on the other hand, has to drive for 20 minutes. So it's quite different for her. Rachel says, Happy New Year to Lisa. That's great. Thank you, Maria Elena. And see you next Friday, my dear. Judy, I just bought Hands to Work, she says. Hands to Work is one of my favorite pieces too. And it's not just because it is easy to stitch, because it's not. It's got a lot of little detail in it. But Hands to Work was the feeling that I got when I was in, let's see, I wasn't there, I was in Boston, Massachusetts, and I went to a, now, what's the name of that religion that used to be there? Oh, my brain is not functioning very well. Anyway, I went to one of these great big houses where people had, where the men and the women were in separate things. It's I can't remember the name of the religion. I think it is the Shakers. I think it's the Shakers. So anyway, and that Hands to Work made me think that I too could contribute to that philosophy, because really that's all we need to do as human beings, is to keep our hands to work and our love to God. So I love that pattern for that reason. So Judy, enjoy it. Betty Foley Dory is here. Happy New Year to you. Oh, okay. Rachel, you haven't decided yet? Grateful Heart. Oh, okay. I love Grateful Heart too. Oh gosh. You know, I can hardly wait to hear which one you're going to take. Anyway, Rachel, that sounds really nice. Daisy is saying that we'd love to have some rain. Yes, I can imagine. New Mexico is dry. Janet Bott says Happy New Year to you and Lisa. Looking forward to the new mystery stitch. Thank you. And no snow in Connecticut? Are you kidding? You got 50 degrees Fahrenheit? Yes, I'm sure you'll feel the cold before long. Elizabeth says, hi, Sue. Are you still there, Liz? I hope so. Quakers, exactly. Or Shakers. One or the other. I think they all shook. I'm not sure which one shook more. I think the Quakers were more. Thank you all. Thanks for the reminders. So we have had a number of people here who are brand new, and I'm hoping that they'll come back because we've got lots in store for you next week. In the meantime, take good care of yourselves tonight, and I hope that your New Year's celebration. Oh, right, people in Australia have you already had your New Year's celebration? Because I know when I was in Australia, yesterday was tomorrow or something in comparison to where I am here. Anyway, no matter where you are, how you celebrate, remember this is a brand new year, so don't hesitate to maybe not a resolution, but maybe have some positive energy going into the new year. We have had so much negative emotion around us in the news and in all the things that happen. We have to counteract that, because even though human beings are naturally go to we'll call it the negative, because we have to watch out, what might happen. We need to counteract that with perhaps a daily gratitude or a daily positivity thinking. Because if we don't do that, we're going to get snowed under with all these things that have been happening to all of us all over the world in the last few years. So take time to remind yourselves of what you are grateful for. And that is one of the things that I want to do more of in this new year. So wishing you all a happy, happy new year. Thank you, Rachel. I'm so glad to hear that. And yes, I knew it, Agnes. Thank you. You are yesterday. You are tomorrow for us. So Happy New Year to you. You're already there. And Sue, I agree with you 100%. Limit your exposure to the news, which is usually disastrous. Happy New Year. You're welcome, Louisa. I plan to drink more coffee in the new year. Good one. I was just thinking I was going to plan to drink more tea in the new year instead of coffee. But I'll join you in the whole caffeine thing, that's for sure. Thank you, Ann Miller, for your lovely comment. I am grateful for all of you who stitched them. So thanks again. Okay, so I think I'm going to say goodbye. First, I have to click on the end video, but it doesn't end right away. There's a second place where it says, are you sure you want to end this live video? So I'm already there. Wishing you all the very best and safe, happy, and joyous New Year to all of you. See you next week. Bye-bye.